there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we're talking Love and Marriage Huntsville. You guys know why you're here. Today we're talking, because I'm trying to get to the bottom of why the cast really was not at the live podcast event with Melody, Sheree, and Carlos King back in January. And it seems that there are some alternative facts being thrown around. Episode 1 made it seem as though the cast had to pay to attend the podcast event, which, if technically that was the case, then I guess that would mean Stormy paid to attend. But I presume since Sunny is quote-unquote a new cast member and they're being introduced as a new couple, her and Moses, I presume since this was Carlos' special guest backstage that they didn't have to pay. But this last episode 3, basically, Mel was asking, Kimmy and Letitia, why weren't you guys there? Why didn't you guys attend the podcast event? And Kimmy, like I said in a previous video, used the excuse, tried to blame it as though she was going to be, quote-unquote, attacked by the millimeters, which is completely and utterly bogus. I mean, obviously, there's Mel fans and Mel supporters who didn't see it for Stormy, and nothing happened. There was nothing reported of anybody jumping Stormy, you guys. And nonetheless, there were even some millimeters that were kind enough to throw a few coins at Black with a QUE, which would be in support of Marceau and Letitia. So again, where are all these lies and false narratives coming from? And then Letitia, claimed that she didn't get an invite. However, even if Letitia did get an invite, I don't think she would have went anyways unless she knew Kimmy was going or something like that. But nonetheless, I don't know the point of this, because for all intents and purposes, it was presented as at first to make it seem like the cast didn't have to go. It wasn't necessary for them to go. Then we're now pivoting that they had to pay if they wanted to go. And now we're pivoting again 2 episodes later that it had to be based off of an invite from Mel. Well, is Mel going to block the millimeters from, getting their tickets and the extended tickets because it was sold out so quickly to accommodate cast members who don't like her anyways? But I thought the whole point of this, since this was the season premiere, is typically you're supposed to have a group event. You're supposed to have a cast event to where everybody is reconvening for the filming of the first episode to catch up for the first time since the reunion. To pick up where you left off at the reunion. Really, the cast should have been there sans, Martell. But everyone else should have been in attendance. And they're trying to, and it's funny because now they want to pick and choose. 1 minute it's Mel's event, another minute it's Carlos King's event. Well, if it's Carlos King's event and he's in Huntsville and he's technically your quote-unquote boss, why weren't you there to support him? And again, it wasn't just millimeters there, according to Carlos King. Apparently there were some raindrops there, some drizzles that were there in attendance as well. Nonetheless, I don't know if that's really true or not, because all I saw, for all intents and purposes, were people who supported Mel. But nonetheless, maybe some people sprinkled in, I don't know. Or maybe they were pretending to be a raindrop to get a picture with Carlos. I don't know, right? But I feel like they just don't have any good excuses other than they're intimidated, they're jealous, and they cannot humble themselves to support anybody. But if it was the other way around, and, nobody was at any of their events, none of the cast bothered to show up to any of their events, it would be this whole thing. Oh, that so-and-so, they're being messy, they don't like so-and-so, and all of these things, you guys. It would just be nothing but tomfoolery, and I'm just tired of the hypocrisy. But the cast now, everything is so separate that it's difficult to watch. I am tired of these spliced together scenes, and basically everybody, because you don't want them all to film together, or they don't want to film together, they're having the same conversations over and over again with the same 1 or 2 people in different settings, as opposed to just having one group event to hash everything out right then and there and move along the storylines. But the problem is, this cast has no storylines, so therefore, they're dragging out this Martell arrest,
they're dragging out the Sunny and Moses thing, and I don't care about it. I really don't, you guys, because it's a waste of time. It is a waste of time. And for whatever reason, Kimmy tried to turn, Sunny, she tried to make it seem that the millimeters made the podcast event negative and negative energy, and she didn't want to be, quote unquote, associated with that. And Mel explained to them that the quote-unquote negative energy had nothing to do with the Mel supporters or the millimeters. The energy changed when basically the event was hijacked by Carlos King because he was too afraid to man up and respond to not protecting Mel on this show and not firing Martel, and Mel being emotional about all of the instances in which she felt in particular that Carlos King was in on all of the chaos that was happening behind the scenes with Martel and tormenting her, and just chose not to do anything. And so he quickly pivoted and decided, oh, now is a good time to introduce Sunny and Moses. No. That was a very, pivotal moment for you to actually be held accountable and give a real response besides, oh, I'm not really as involved, which we know now is completely and utterly bogus. You're more involved than ever, right? You're more involved than ever. You're the puppet master. You are the one pulling all the strings. You are the one dictating all this foolishness that keeps backfiring, you guys. So please miss me with that. But the energy changed because this event was supposed to be about Mel. This was supposed to be a podcast event about, Mel and everything else. And you wouldn't pull this with Teresa from Real Housewives of New Jersey and just bring on somebody random to hijack the show. You didn't do that to Tamar in Atlanta. So again, this notion that it's okay for you to use Mel for clicks and views and ticket sales, but you still want to, insert yourself one way or the other to try to take away from Mel and Mel's moment. And the audience felt that. The audience saw through that. And they were not receptive to this Sunny and Moses thing because nobody cared, right? And then you're throwing little shots at Destiny, who I thought was your quote-unquote girl, but you're now putting in a situation to where you're making it seem as though Sunny and Moses' presence at this podcast event is something that Mel was in support of or that Mel orchestrated when Mel had no knowledge of any of this. And Mel was even defending Destiny in the conversation with Kimmy and Letitia, basically saying, hey, this situation isn't it. You guys were cool to an extent of some point, but you knew, obviously, Destiny and Moses were together in some capacity, and this is valid to come out married and act like nothing's wrong. But, the whole storyline surrounding this and the cast, just basically too afraid to just say what it is. If Kimmy and Letitia just said, you know what? I don't like Mel. We aren't friends anymore. We aren't close. I'm never going to like Mel no matter what. Therefore, I was never going to attend her event. But instead, they like to blame other things that don't matter. They like to blame, quote-unquote, Mel supporters and the millimeters, in which, to this day, all the way in May, you guys, because the event was back in January, to this day, we have not heard any type of chaos, any type of ruckus from the millimeters and Mel supporters that attended this podcast event in January. In fact, Letitia's mom was bragging about the millimeters and Mel supporters that she took pictures with and was interacting with and cracking jokes with at Black with a QUE, which would indicate that the Mel supporters and millimeters are not this malicious hate group that's out here striking people and sending threats to people and making people scared to do anything. No. So again, can we get back to the real storylines, you guys, and these people's real lives? Blaming a fan base is so lame. It's so lame. Like literally, I keep saying in each video, imagine watching a reality show about like somebody just not liking the Beehive, for instance, right? Just not liking Beyonce fans, right? And that's their whole persona, right? Their whole existence. They're going to waste the entire season trying to come up with reasons and examples as to why they don't like the Beehive, as opposed to actually, being mature themselves and having a conversation of the person who's responsible for having the fan base in the first place, which would be Mel. And it's funny because Letitia and Kimmy sat right there in front of Mel, and if they had such a problem with the millimeters and all those things, they would have outright said it. Instead, they went into their own stereotypes of what they think or what they thought the millimeter said and did, and Mel had to correct them that the energy changed what Sunny and Moses were out there. And I'm just over Mel having to explain herself to these people because they always assume the worst. Just like when Martell got arrested, they assumed that Mel was behind this. With the podcast event, they assumed that the millimeters, ruined the experience and ruined the energy when Stormy herself was there and the energy changed with Sunny and Moses appearing when it was supposed to be an event to highlight Mel. But again, this cast, like I said, they're so far from the focus of what the show was supposed to be. And this waste of time hiding, like I said, behind scenes of the Martell stuff and the Sunny and Moses stuff. It's already old, 3 episodes in. I feel like it's just been 3 episodes of nothing but filler. And meanwhile, real life, real time, as we speak, today, Monday, May 20th, we have a conviction with Martell. We have Destiny arrested again. And we have, again, a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against one of the cast members that has the least screen time of the core 6, and all of these things, and they are still trying to push forth this narrative that Mel is the problem, that Mel is the issue, but everybody else is the ones racking up the charges. Can you make it make sense? So there is that. So if any of you can get to the bottom of whether or not there was truly supposed to be an invite list to this podcast event, which I don't know if I necessarily believe, but I don't know why it just wasn't even considered a cast event anyways. If anybody's having an event, usually how these reality shows go is everybody's supposed to be invited no matter what, right? And even if you have an issue with somebody, they're supposed to be there anyways because that's supposed to facilitate some type of conflict or confrontation to try to resolve the issue, right? But nonetheless, we're not doing that anymore, apparently. We're just, everybody's on their own. Everybody's solo dolo, you guys. So there's that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.